Hi guys, welcome back. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me and all the love you guys showed me on Twitter. I appreciate it so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's start with a little bit of a life update. Everything's pretty much the same. I'm almost done with school. I'm in finals, which I'm so happy, so I can get a little break and spend a little bit more time focusing on this. And also I am going to be hosting my first brunch and give mimosas and give back brunch. So this is a brunch that I will be hosting, and what I want to do is create little care packages so we can hand them out to homeless people here in the Bay Area. And I think we just have such a big problem with homelessness now. If you don't live in the Bay Area, you know, things are just super expensive. People can't afford to live here anymore. The population of homelessness is growing, and it's just really sad. It's really sad to see that, you know, the government, the state, whatever, like, it's letting so many people down, because I've seen it grow, and I've seen how much more of it we have now, and it's really sad. So I took part of this a few years back for another nonprofit, but this year I kind of want to take charge. I'm done waiting for other people to make shit happen. Like, I want to do this, so I'm going to be hosting it. It's going to be an all girls, and I hope this is something that I can continue every year, and I want to start doing more activities like this. So if you're one of the girls, you know, if you're in the Bay Area and you'd like to participate, let me know. I don't know if we'll be able to do it this year, but for next year, or if you just want to kind of give me your contact. I want to start doing more networking events. I want to start getting in touch, like I said, with people that are inspiring me, motivating me. You know, they're hustling, they're doing big things. I feel like I have a lot to offer, and I know that people have a lot to offer me too. So I think it's just an amazing way to connect, to network, and do all that. So that's something that's going to be happening. So please, if you're interested in this, let me know. I mean, right now I am focusing on just women, but eventually I would like it to be just a network of, you know, successful people that want to interact with other successful people, or just if you want to get involved in this and kind of meet people and, you know, bounce ideas of each other and see what's going on. So that's something that is in the works, and I'm really excited. A little bit of a book update if you didn't see my last video. So I'm still reading The Secrets of Six-Figure Women. Again, this is a great book. If you are one person or a woman that's looking to make six figures one day, this is a great book to just tell you kind of where to go. And I just wanted to say, I am all for book recommendations. Just send them my way, and same if you guys need book recommendations, I'll definitely send them to you. Let's see, so for today's topic, I want to talk about something that's very personal to me also, and I have seen that this is something that I saw that resonated with a lot of people on Twitter, and that is knowing when to walk away from a relationship. And it's something that it's really hard to do when you're still very much in love with that person, but you have to do it, and you have to put yourself first, and just know when, you know what, I've had enough, this isn't for me, and just kind of gather up that strength to do it. So a little bit of a story and a little bit of a background. My first love, who I met in high school, he, you know, was the coolest kid in high school. He was an athlete, and I just felt so in love with him, and we were together for almost 8 years, so most of my high school, most of my college. And I don't know if maybe we just weren't mature enough, but there was a lot of hurt done from both sides, and it was a lot of, you know, the last maybe 3 years or so, it was a lot of on and off, and, you know, back and forth, and we were together one day and the next day we weren't, and it just became a very toxic environment. And it lasted for a long time. It was almost, you know, 3 years. There was no trust, there was a lot of possessiveness, there was a lot of controlling, there was a lot of jealousy. And, you know, when you're in that space, you do not realize that you're in a toxic environment. You don't realize that this isn't what a healthy relationship should look like. And sometimes, like, that's all you know, so you don't know that this isn't normal and this isn't okay, because for my experience towards the end of the relationship, I mean, I was probably crying more than I was happy, and I was always worried, and I was always stressing, and you know, it affected my my school, it affected just my mood all the time. So if I wanted to make a video to just say, you know, if you're in this situation, just kind of maybe recognize that you are in a toxic environment, that maybe this isn't what's best for you, and just because you love someone or they love you, that doesn't mean that you're meant to be together or you should be together in that moment. I decided to walk away after 8 years because I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't do that to myself anymore. Like I said, I was just always crying. I was always sad. I never felt, you know, very like sure of the relationship towards the end. There was a lot of hurt done from both sides, so there was no trust. It was always just so much jealousy. I got to the point where I was like, I have to be checking his phone all the time. He got to the point where he would be like, where are you? I don't believe you. Like, show me where you are. And like I said, in that moment, I thought that that's what love was. And I mean, till this day, I do think that I was very, very much in love with him, but it wasn't healthy love, and it wasn't love that you should put up with, because it does hurt you, and it does tear you apart. So, you know, I started to realize that things just weren't how they should be. And I always knew, like, you know, my relationship was a little different from everyone, but towards the end, it was just like constant breaking up. I was always just worried, like, are we gonna be okay? We couldn't even plan stuff because I didn't know where we were gonna be together. It was just not consistent. It wasn't reliable. Like I said, we were breaking up. There was always something. And if there's always something going on in your relationship, you need to take a step back and evaluate it, because that's not what a healthy relationship is. And if you're breaking up every other week because there's always something, then you need to take a look at that. If you feel like you're obsessed with checking their phone, that's not healthy either. You know, relationships are based on trust. Relationships are based on, I'm able to, you know, trust you. Like, why do I want to be with someone who I think that's constantly going to be cheating on me or constantly going to be doing other things? And there was also like a lot of revenge, like, oh, well, you talked to that girl, so I'm going to go talk to this guy. And, you know, I do get it. It was a high school relationship, but I mean, it lasted so long, and it lasted to my adult years. And it did create a little bit of, you know, baggage and damage in my area until, you know, I get fully healed. I think I'm at a point now where I can talk about it, where I can recognize, you know, the signs, where I can say, okay, you know, that relationship just wasn't it, and I would want to help others if you feel in that situation. I know how hard it is, and trust me, it took every inch of my being to be able to gather up the strength to walk away. It took, I feel like, every inch of my body, of my soul, of my bones to be able to say, you know what, this isn't working for me. Like, this isn't okay. I'm always crying. We're always fighting. We were probably fighting more than we were okay. It was just causing stress on both sides, and I had to say, enough. I can't do this anymore. Like, I have to love myself more than I love you. And that's what I did. And you know, it was what was best for me, but it was also what was best for him, and it was also what was best for us, because we were just so consumed in this toxic environment that we couldn't see outside of it, and everyone else could see it. And you know, when you're in that situation, you feel, you know, you feel stupid, you get mad at yourself, you get mad at the other person, you get mad at your own feelings, you start almost kind of hating yourself for feeling this way, for feeling weak, and for feeling stupid, and for, why am I not strong enough to stay away from this person? You know, I mean, we broke up over 100 times. Like, we were just always breaking up, and like, we just had to get back together. Like, we couldn't be apart from each other, but when we were together, it was just toxic, and it was okay for a little bit when we got back, but then it just went back to the same pattern, and it was just repetitive. And And I would get mad at myself, and I would be like, you're so stupid, like, you know, let him go, don't put up with this. And you also kind of start to isolate yourself because you're a little bit ashamed of like your feelings, and of people that tell you, you know, you're so stupid, you need to leave, and you can't just snap your fingers and get out, or you can't just snap your fingers and find that strength or find that self-love that you need to walk away. So just as a message, if you are on the other side, maybe, you know, a friend, you are the friend of a person that's in this toxic relationship, don't try not to be so hard on them. Because I remember for me, like, I knew that my friends were probably like, oh my gosh, here she comes again for the 100th time crying because they broke up and heartbroken, and she's just gonna get back with him. So I feel like my friends were kind of like, I don't even want to deal with this anymore. And I get it, but you know, you kind of start to isolate yourself because you're embarrassed, because you don't want to annoy people with the same thing again. And it's just a really tough situation, and it's a really, really hard thing to go through by yourself. And you know, I did kind of have a support system, but I did hide a lot of things, and I did keep a lot of things to myself because I didn't want people to judge me. I didn't want people to be like, oh, you're so stupid, here we go again, or like, why don't you just walk away? Like, it's not easy when you're in that situation. Like, you don't see outside of your feelings, or it kind of sort of becomes an obsession, and it kind of sort of becomes an addiction. And this is something that is scientifically proven. When you're in love, the same neurons or cells in your brain light up as like someone who was addicted to cocaine and you showed them cocaine. Like, has the same effect. So love can be kind of an addiction, and it's hard, and it's hard to just kind of walk away from something, and you can become addicted to someone. And I think that's a lot of the times what kind of happens. You become like obsessed and addicted, and you're like, this is love, and I have to make it work. And you know, in my situation, I mean, we both loved each other very, very much, and we weren't hurting each other on purpose, and we weren't doing this stuff on purpose, but we were doing it, and we couldn't stop it. We couldn't get back out of it. Like I said, we know we'd fight, then we'd be like, no, let's work things out, let's get back together. It would change for a little bit, and then it'd go back. It was just kind of just human nature. It was like when we went back to each other, it was just, and I don't know, you know, I think that maybe therapy could have helped. So if you're in this situation, try therapy. We didn't try therapy, even though, you know, I suggested it a few times, but I guess it just wasn't an option. But, you know, maybe you can, but if your situation just isn't getting any better, like, just please, please walk away. And like I said, I know that it is so hard. It is so hard to put yourself first. It is so hard to say, I love me more than I love you, or I'm going to love me more than I love you. And, you know, for me, like I said, it took over 100 breakups, and, you know, 8 years later, and just so much. But, you know, I mean, people were telling me, just leave, and they were telling him the same thing way before it ended. So sometimes you just have to go through it 7,000 times for you to actually be ready, or for you to actually be like, enough. So don't be so hard on yourself. And again, if you're a friend or a family member of someone in this situation, don't be so hard on them, because everyone has their own timing for everything. And when you're in that situation, like I said, like, you just don't see outside of it. And, you know, maybe it has become an addiction, or has become an obsession, or you just feel like, you know, I'm never gonna find anyone, like, this is the love of my life, you know, I can't do better. Or sometimes you even feel guilty for leaving them, and they might be like, you can't leave me, like, we're meant to be together, like, this is it. And that's not true. And, you know, something that my mom told me, because walking away is basically taking your heart and ripping it yourself so that they stop doing it. So, you know, I was heartbroken. I was completely devastated. It took me just a really long time to heal from this. But what my mom always said is, no one dies from love, and you ain't gonna be the first one, and you ain't gonna be the last one. And it's true. And I know that it's easier said than done, and it's easier to say, oh, you'll be okay, but in the moment you're like, no, I'm gonna die. I mean, I thought I was gonna die. I'm like, I'm gonna die without him. I can't do this. I can't, and it was just a constant, like, I can't do this, like, I want to call him, I want to text him, like, I know we're meant to be together, like, but you just have to take it one step at a time. You have to first, you know, make that decision and make it final to yourself. You're gonna say, no matter what happens, no matter what this person says, no matter what goes on around us, I'm choosing me. And once you set that in your mind with conviction, then you can start taking it one day at a time. And, you know, I was in the situation where I didn't live with them, or didn't have kids, or we weren't married, so maybe it is a little easier. I don't know how it works in other situations that I haven't been in, but it takes a lot of strength, and it takes a lot of self-love, and once you do decide to make that choice and you stick with it, you know, again, self-care and self-love is the way to heal yourself. You know, if you need to cry every day, then cry every day. If you need to, you know, take 2 days to just be by yourself, cry, watch a movie, but again, be determined that this is what you want to do. So I think self-care is the answer, and it's not going to be easy, and it's going to take time. I think it took me over a year or more to, you know, finally start feeling like I'm healing a little bit. And even now, I feel like 4 years later, I can kind of start saying I'm fully healed from it, because it is a process, and it is something that's going to take time, and it's very hard. It's very, very hard. And, you know, try to find a support system. Try to find someone that doesn't get tired of you crying 7,000 times. And they are out there. And, you know, now that, like, I've been in that situation, and I have been that girl that's like, you're just gonna get back with him after 20 million times, I understand a little bit more. So maybe try to find someone who does understand what you're going through, because there's a lot of us out there, and it's important. It's important to have a support system where you don't feel like you need to be isolated, or you need to feel scared to talk to people, or embarrassed or ashamed. So, you know, self-love, find a support system again, and just stay strong, and, you know, stay busy. Try to focus all that energy that you were focusing in the relationship. You were focusing all of your energy, and it was draining all of your energy. Try to get that energy back. Try to get your power back. And, you know, I think self-love is the way to do that. Self-care, you know, take care of yourself. Focus on eating healthier. Focus on maybe going to the gym. Focus on spending more time with your family. Focus on things that are making you happy. And, you know, if you can, try to stay away from, you know, alcohol and drugs and that sort of thing, because in that moment, that's going to fill your void, and you might not be able to get that stuff out to be complete again. So, but if you start kind of feeling that void with, you know, family and friends and things that make you happy, you might be able to heal a little bit quicker. So, and don't worry so much about the timing. Everyone has their own timing for everything. You know, you have your timing when you're ready to make that decision, and you're going to have your timing when you're ready to heal, and when you do heal. So it might take you a year, it might take you a few months, it might take you 7 years, 10, I don't know. But, you know, taking that first step is going to be worth it. And, you know, the second relationship that I got in, it was like, wow, like, this is what a relationship should feel like. This is what a healthy relationship feels like. And it taught me that, and I was like, wow, like, this is what I've always wanted, or this is what I always wanted in that relationship. But for whatever reason, you know, we just couldn't get there. And, you know, the older I am, and just the things that I've been through, like, I started to realize that sometimes you just aren't meant to be with some people, and that's okay. And, you know, I don't have any hard feelings for him, and I know he doesn't have hard feelings for me, and it's nothing but love, and we're always just gonna remember each other as each other's first love. And that relationship, it made me just a stronger person. I feel like after you break your own heart and you literally just rip it out of your chest because it's what's best for you, that makes you so strong. And, you know, now I'm like, I knew I did the right thing, and I'm not, and, you know, I did feel a lot of guilt for a long time, and you feel guilty for walking away. You feel guilty when you see them struggling too, when you see them suffering too, but it was what was best for both of us. So So yeah, and like they said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, because I thought I was going to die, and here I am, and now I feel so much stronger, and now I feel like I can recognize the signs. If I feel like I'm going down that path with someone, I'm not doing it anymore, or I will take the steps necessary to try to change it. And I also just feel like I don't take shit from anyone. Like, oh, you want to act up? Bye, because I already did, and now I love myself so much more that, you know what, I know my worth, and I know what I'm what I'm valuable, and I know all of that stuff. So I'm not gonna put up with anyone's anything. So it does, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is just happiness and peace, and you will get there one day. It, like I said, it might take a year, it might take longer, but you will get there. So, you know, don't stress. Yeah, I mean, if something isn't working for you, and sometimes you just kind of have to be a little bit selfish and just take the leap. So these are some of the signs. Like I said, sometimes in that situation you don't realize that you're in a toxic relationship. So these are some of the signs that I found and that I felt while I was in it. You're always feeling drained, like you feel like all of your energy is going towards your relationship, and it's not in a good way. Like you're just completely drained, you're always tired, or you're always sad, or you're always worried, or you're always stressed, because that is all mainly what that relationship is bringing you. You might reconsider being in that relationship. If there's a lack of trust, I think, again, you can't have a relationship if there isn't trust. So that might be signs of a toxic relationship. And again, if you're obsessing with checking their phone, if you're obsessing about what they're doing, if they're obsessing about what you're doing, if you feel like you can't even say hi to another guy because they go crazy, or, you know, you get really mad because they said hi to another girl, like, this isn't healthy and this isn't normal. And for whatever reason, people try to normalize it and make it like, oh my gosh, they love you so much. That's not love. That's control. That's possessiveness. That's other stuff. So don't confuse the two. If it's a hostile environment, like if you're just really not happy and, you know, you think about it all the time, like, I kind of want to leave this relationship. I kind of want to leave this relationship, and maybe they don't let you, or you don't let yourself, or whatever. Reconsider and think about it. If there's any fear involved, if you're ever scared to walk away, or you're scared about what they're gonna do, or you're scared that whatever decision you're making or what you're doing is going to cause you fear from them, that is a huge red flag, and that is a huge indication of you need to walk away. If there's any judgment or fear of judgment, if someone's constantly judging the way you dress, the way you act, what you do, where you go, you don't even want to voice your opinion because you feel like they're going to feel a certain way or say something that's going to hurt your feelings, it's time to walk away. If there's insufficient support, if you just don't feel supported by your significant other, if you feel like you're always looking for support outside of the relationship, that's a clear sign that they're just not the one for you. Again, if there's any sort of possessiveness, jealousy, controlling, them checking your phone, you checking them phone, you guys are just completely obsessed with what the other is doing at all times, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. I know that there's this weird, especially I see it with a lot of younger kids. I don't know why there's like this, you have to be texting me all the time. You can't talk to anyone else, and my life has to be completely, so like your whole life has to revolve around me, or my life has to revolve around you. Like, that's not healthy, and that's not love, and it's not cute. If there's never ending drama, if there is always something, always, like out of nowhere things always come up, there's something wrong with that relationship. So like I said, either get into therapy to deal with all these issues, or just walk away, because healthy relationships, yes, they have drama, there's fighting, like that happens in a healthy, normal relationship. If you aren't fighting, that's actually a problem. But if you're always fighting, if there is always something to fight about, something isn't working. If there's uncertainty of the relationship, you don't know, like, is this going anywhere? Am I going to be with him next week? I don't know. Am I going to be with him tomorrow? Are we going to be together 6 months from now? that is a huge red flag, because you should be certain about the relationship that you're in, and you should be certain that this is the relationship that you want to be in, and that they want to be in this relationship with you, and that you guys are going to make it, and not in a back and forth, we break up and then get back together and we might be together 6 months from now on that day, but you know, I don't really make that many plans because I don't know. That's a huge red flag. And then just lastly, which I think this is the most important sign of when to walk away, if the relationship is making you unhappy. If you're unhappy more than you're happy, that is a huge red flag. And like I said, you know, it is proven that, you know, the same part of the brain as like addiction lights up with love. And I think, you know, same as drugs and that sort of thing, when you're good, like your high is just out of this world. But when things are bad, like it is just extremely bad, and it's just a constant high and low and high and low, and that's just not healthy. And if you're just unhappy more than you are happy, or even if you just feel constantly unhappy, like I'm sure in relationships, and I mean I've had other relationships, you do feel a little unhappy here, or you feel unhappy with what your partner said or what your partner did, but like overall you're still happy in the relationship, that's okay. But if you're constantly just feeling unhappy, why are you doing that to yourself? Why do you want to be unhappy? It just, life is short. There's so many people out there, and I know it feels like they're the one and they're the one and only, and you're never gonna find anyone, but you will, and you will be happy again. You will have hopes again. You will be excited again. Like this will happen, and it will take a little bit of time, but it will happen. And you know, your happiness and your peace is so important. It is so important, and it should be more important than anything else. And again, if that makes you a little selfish, then that's just how it's gonna have to be. But choose your happiness and choose your peace, because that's just really, really important. If you're in the situation, please, you know, stay strong. Don't be so hard on yourself, and it'll take you some time, but you'll get there. And again, just choose yourself, self-love, love yourself more. Yeah, that's it. That's going to be the end of this video. If you guys have any questions, any comments, please leave me a comment. Show me some love. Let me know if there's anything I can help. If you're in the situation and need maybe a little bit of support or a little bit of advice, or you have a friend in the situation, again, I'm open to talking to you guys. Please subscribe. Please show me some love. Please send me any topic ideas you guys want. Again, I'm really excited about doing this. So thank you for the support, and thank you for, you know, showing me that I am making a little bit of a difference, and that I am helping some of you guys out there. So if I can continue to do that, I am very, very happy. So again, just show me some love, leave me some comments. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Bye.